In L.A. Confidential, you gotta like a guy who loves what he's doing.
What he's doing.
And Sid Hutchins loves.
Sid is gleeful. Yes, he really enjoys. The thing when we began the movie was that you know, instead of making it just a sleazy kind of guy who's like creeping around, compromising people's lives, he is a man who's at the vanguard of a new industry. He knows it. He feels it. He can smell it. He can taste it. He loves getting up in the morning, doing it all. He's the guy who does it all. He thinks of the what?
You compare him to Columbus, sighting a new world.
Absolutely. He's just charting new ground. He's a explorer. He's a visionary. He gets up in the morning trying to figure out, like, what are we going to do now? What are we going to put in the paper? How are we going to, you know, get that all together? He goes out. He takes the pictures himself. He writes the copy, he lays it out, he does everything. And he has a one-on-one relationship with all of his readers, too. I mean, I narrate the movie.
All 37,000 of them.
That's right, L.A. Confidential. And in the narration of the movie, Sid is doing exactly what he does in his newspaper. He kind of puts a spin on everything, tells you what to think, tells you where to go, tells you what's going on, what's intriguing about it. So, like you say, you got to love a guy who's really dedicated to his work.
And with all respects to you as an actor, it just seems to me like you're that way yourself. You are enthusiastic about what you do, not tabloid journalism in this case.
No, I like being part of this this art form, this industry that we have. We're producing movies at Jersey, and I'm directing, and I'm acting, and I get to work with lots of great people, and I live in sunny California, and, you know, I mean, you don't have to live there to make movies, but, you know, D.W. Griffith went from Jersey to California, so I figured I could do the same.
Well, in fact, yesterday you were talking with great affection about growing up in the milieu of the Hollywood style. You grew up in New Jersey, not in L.A.,
yes,
but you grew up in that kind of world of myth-making on screen.
Yes. Well, movies are very important to me growing up. They were my escape, I guess, from, you know, simple kind of life in Jersey, now the Jersey Shore. And I had a unique experience in Asbury. There were 6 movie theaters. There was the first run houses where, you know, they built the bridge over the River Kwai over one of the streets, this big bamboo bridge when the bridge on the River Kwai was released.
They promoted them in those days.
They promoted them. They went out and did all that stuff. And we had the Lyric, which was a movie house where you could see foreign films. You could actually go to, not many of my friends would go, but every once in a while I'd drag somebody in to see a good black and white, because that was big. They didn't want to see a lot of black and white either once color started happening, you know. So, but I was in a unique experience because I had all these movie theaters, and they were my respite, my soul mates from, just a kind of an ordinary, just riding your bike and hanging out at the candy store, which is like what we did.
Must have been a nice time or two on the set of L.A. Confidential when suddenly you're in the world that you saw on screen as a kid.
It was very nice. I mean, you know, just remember when I was a kid, go to the barber shop, get a haircut. First magazine you looked at was Esquire, because it had the good babes. The second thing you might pick up was Confidential magazine. There was always a guy in there covering his face with a hat, you know, or some tomato being taken out of a juke joint, you know, or something like that. You know, and those are the kinds of things that, you know, you're looking for.
And you got to have your priorities. You keep the Hollywood sign in the background.
Yeah.
Or a marquee.
Yes. Yeah, you should.
Well, it is nice to talk to a man that knows his priorities.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Danny DeVito. We're, of course, talking about L.A. Confidential. I'm John Tibbetts for KCTV5 in Toronto.